estate broker here on the Seacoast, also the creator of Exeter Living. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope it was fun and safe and you have a good 2020. I am here with Dr. Randy, Dr. Mark of Steiner Family Chiropractic. We're going to do a little brief video on the services that they provide, how they differentiate themselves a little bit from the marketplace, what they specialize on a little bit. So with that, let's hear a little bit about backstory, how you guys, maybe even if you want, how you guys met, how you chose Exeter, and so forth. All right, so
go ahead, take it ahead.
Okay.
Ladies first.
So, I'm Dr. Randy, and I was lucky enough to grow up as a chiro kid. And what is a chiro kid? Both my parents are chiropractors. So, I got to grow up in their office and watch all of the healing and all of the miracles happen there. But I wanted nothing to do with chiropractic. I wanted to be a professional dancer when I grew up. So, I went to college for dance at Connecticut College, but then I just kept getting injured and kind of had to reconsider what I was doing with my life and if that was what I really wanted to do long term. And although I was passionate for dance, I knew that it wasn't going to be a super long term thing. So I kind of had to sit back and reflect and think, what am I going to do with my life? How am I going to have an impact on this world? What can I do? And I thought back to my childhood and how I watched my mom and my dad and all of the healing that they could do with their hands, and I said, if that potential is in these hands, I want to do that. So then I decided to completely change routes from dance and go to 4 years of chiropractic school. So did that down at Life University in Marietta, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta, where I met this handsome guy. And his backstory is a little bit different than mine. So you can read it.
and if you guys haven't read their bios, go to their website and read their bios. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, so I kind of had the opposite story of Dr. Randy here. I didn't grow up getting chiropractic care. I grew up and I was one of those kids in class that struggled a lot. I was that kid that was the ADHD kid in class that was bouncing off the walls, always talking, always getting in trouble, some behavioral issues and that sort of thing. I always did pretty well in school, but I always was that kid I just could never control it. It was kind of just off the wall all the time. And then in high school I wrestled. I had some injuries there, suffered from depression and anxiety and that sort of thing. That continued on into college, and I kind of got led down a rough road. I actually was going to Clemson University, studying to be a civil and structural engineer, but I quickly realized that I didn't really enjoy that compared with everything else that I was going through, so I actually ended up taking some time off of school, took a whole year off of school. I was kind of just at my parents' house, really without much direction in my life, kind of struggling a lot on a lot of different medications, working a third shift job at a Sam's Club, stocking freezers in the middle of the night, just wondering what am I going to do. I'm only 20 years old, 21 years old, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And then at my sister's wedding, an old family friend came up to me and said, you need to come into my office. And this old family friend was a chiropractor, and so I was like, well, what am I going to go to a chiropractor for? And so I went in there, went to his office. He kind of took some x-rays, kind of showed me what was going on with my spine and my nervous system, and said, I can help you, but you need to commit, to the care. And so I didn't really have anything else to lose, and I decided to give it a shot, and my life basically changed pretty much immediately. I didn't need as much medication. The chronic headaches that I was having for so long went away. I noticed changes in my depression and anxiety, and within a month I was actually back in school, re-enrolled in college. Decided that I knew what I wanted to do at that point, and that was to be a chiropractor and help other people that are going through what I went through. And I know one of the reasons we're so passionate about taking care of kids is because I know if I would have had this earlier on in life, I might not have had to go through some of the things that I did. And ended up finishing up at Clemson, then went to Marietta, Georgia, Life University, and walked up to this beautiful lady in the bar one night and said, "Can I have your number?" And then that was it. So
The rest is history.
The rest is history. And she really wanted to come back to New England, and I was ready to get out of the South. Grew up in South Carolina, and I much prefer cold and snow to heat and humidity, so I love it up here. And she wanted to come back as well. So.
And how did you choose Exeter?
So we were actually looking around New Hampshire. We looked over in Maine a little bit too, actually, and then some of northern New Hampshire lake area, and then we decided the Seacoast might be more of our target demographic, which is kids and families. And we were driving through Exeter one day, I think it was in like September or October. We stopped at Me and Ollie's downtown, and we're having a cup of coffee, and just saw so many people out with families and kids and people walking their dogs, and we're like, all right, I think this can work. And then we ended up talking to the landlord of this building, and then through, about 8 or 9 months later, ended up opening up here. So it was kind of one of those things we just knew was the right spot. So we love the Seacoast. It's great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love being here as well.
Yeah.
So one of your focuses, you kind of touched on a little bit, is children care, infant care. You guys want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have a big focus on kids and babies and pregnant women in our office, and the big reason is a lot of people think about chiropractors about going when you're in pain and then coming back when you're back in pain. Kind of let's get a quick natural band-aid and then come back when we need it again. And we take a different approach. So we are really focused on the nervous system in kids, babies, adults, pregnant women, everybody. We want to see how well their nervous system is working. And in this life, we can experience a lot of stress that can interfere with that nervous system's ability.
Stress in life?
Yeah, so yeah, I know. Nobody knows anything about that today, but so we are under a lot of stress, and our nervous system can be functioning just not as well as it could be with that stress. We want to make sure that the nervous system is adapting as good as it can, as well as it can, to that stress. And so that's what we do here in the office, is we see if there is stress in the nervous system, and with our gentle and specific adjustments, we can relieve that stress, relieve that tension, and allow the nervous system to work better. A lot of times people wonder what an adjustment looks like for a baby or for a kid, thinking of all the horror stories and videos that they've seen before, and it looks absolutely nothing like that. For babies, it's just like you're checking the ripeness of a tomato or an avocado. It's just that gentle. It doesn't take much.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. So very gentle and very specific.
And you have special tools and stuff like that that you use for that purpose.
We do, yeah. We actually have a few things behind us here. One of these things is an adjusting instrument that we can use on kids and adults. It gives a very light impulse. It kind of allows us to use a little bit of less force. And this right here is a specialized piece of equipment that we use for our younger kids. It's actually a miniature version of one of the headpieces for our other tables. It just makes a little noise when it pops up like this, and we can kind of set the tension to where we need it. It just makes a very little drop right there, just a little noise. It allows us to use less force, but give a very specific adjustment. And then these are the love of all of our pregnant mothers right here. They actually want to take them home. This is a pregnancy pillow that moms can lay down. It's the middle's cut out of it, so they can lay on their stomach comfortably all throughout, even the third trimester. So we're very kid friendly here. We have lots of different ways and lots of different techniques that we know to adjust.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, if you new patients, tell me a little bit about how that works. Obviously you have an established clientele. What would a new patient expect?
Yeah, so a lot of people either contact us through Google or Facebook or meet them out, and we do a lot of workshops here in the office as well. And when somebody's interested, a lot of times they'll just call. One of the first things that we'll want to do is set up a complimentary consultation with them. That's just a pre-conversation where we're just going to go over a little bit more of what their health history is, what their goals for care are, what they're worried, what they're looking for themselves or their child with chiropractic care. And if both parties feel like they're a good fit, then we would go in to do more in-depth things. We have an x-ray machine in our office. If we need to take x-rays, we would take those. We also have some other technology here in the office that's completely safe for kids that we can use. A lot of times with parents bringing their kids in, we'll actually schedule a phone consult with them before they come in. It's a lot easier for us to do things in the office and try to get the good information from mom without things getting thrown at us all the time. So a lot of times it's easier if we just hop on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes with parents before they bring the child in. And a lot of kids don't like being talked about in front of them while they're in the room, so that kind of helps us get rid of that too. And that way when they come in, we can just have fun. So, yeah.
And you guys have been here since 2017.
May of 2017, and then we got married in June of 2017.
Yeah.
So
we decided to do everything at once. But it was a good year for us. So yeah.
Okay, great. Anything else you guys want to let the audience know?
We're here to serve. We love what we're doing. We love helping children and families just reach their optimum potential in their health. Whether somebody's wanting to get well or stay well, they can find a home here in our office. And
yeah, fantastic. So they are located by the Jaguar dealership on 27 here in Exeter. Not very far at all. So as always, thanks everybody for tuning in. Special congratulations to Christine Bergeron for winning the $50 giveaway that I did over the holidays. If you have any real estate questions or needs, don't be afraid to give me a call. I'm here to help if at all possible. My phone number is 603-379-6887. Look forward to seeing everybody get on our next video. Take care.